And I'm also going to be using a student discount.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep. Alright, thank you. But it is so gloomy right now, bro. Can't wait to see what's actually inside this box. Let's see. Yo, so I actually went to school after buying this from the mall, and yeah, and as you guys could see, I'm currently editing a video. So I was editing a video like earlier this morning and yesterday with my M3 Pro MacBook Pro. So I'm going to continue the edit with like this new MacBook. So let's get through the unboxing real quick. So here we go. M4 MacBook Air. As you guys could see, so this is the base model, 16 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. Honestly, I feel like this is going to be the perfect budget laptop, because if you have like a student ID, as you guys saw when I was in the store, you can actually get this for around $899 after tax. It's not even going to get up to $1,000. Do you guys get tired of opening MacBook products? That's the first peel. All right, so let's see what's in the box. And I think this one, the color of this one is called a sky blue. Okay. I'm so used to the M3 Pro MacBook Pro, and this feels like very thin and light. So I'm just gonna put that to the side. The braided cable also comes in the sky blue colorway. I think right now Apple is more leaning towards like matching the color of the cable with the device itself. And other things we get in the box, we don't get like the stickers anymore. Well, we could get like little documentations and stuff. It looks clean. I don't even want to get into that. And this is a 30 watts power brick or power adapter. It looks very small, I'm not going to lie. This has to be the smallest power adapter I've seen in a minute. But yeah, that's basically what's in the box, yo. There's really nothing too much going on. I am so excited to see what this color is looking like. Bro, I'm not going to lie, this actually looks fire. But is this something I'm a fan of? I'm really not sure, to be honest. I would say depending on the lighting condition, it feels like white and then or gray, and then the sky blue is more like, I don't know, faint. So I would say depending on the lighting condition, it might actually look different. But I'm really excited to see. But bro, this thing is so light, bro. Alright, so I spent some time setting this up as a new MacBook. What I mean is there is no backup, so I'll be installing all the software I use from scratch. If you are considering this as your first ever MacBook, setting up a new MacBook is very simple and straightforward. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection and an iCloud account, which should be easy if you already own an iPhone or any other Apple products. So this is the new base M4 MacBook Air, and it might be the best budget brand new laptop that you can buy. Starting at $999 USD, and if you are eligible for student discount, you can can get it for $899 just like I did. For the price, you get Apple's latest M4 chip, 16GB of unified memory, 10-core CPU with 4 performance and 6 efficiency cores, and an 8-core GPU. This is a similar spec with the M4 MacBook Pro, which means you can get a similar performance for a fraction of the price. It has a 128GB per second memory bandwidth, and a 12-megapixel FaceTime camera that has center stage, and even the new desk view feature. It's crazy to know that like the laptop is literally just facing straight, where you could just see what's on the desk, just like you would do with like a C-stand or something, bro. So the design is still the same as the previous generation, with a very slim profile in terms of thickness, weighs only 2.7 pounds, which feels super light. With just one look at this, you can tell that it's a MacBook Air but with this new sky blue color. It's a very similar color to the M2 iPad Air from last year, which I currently use for school, and it looks really nice and presentable. It comes with 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports that can be used for both charging and connecting external accessories, a MagSafe charging port, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, I would recommend getting a dongle cable like this one if you are the type who utilizes the port selections a lot. And with that being said, the M4 MacBook Air supports up to 2 external 6K displays at 60Hz even while the built-in display is active. So if multitasking is a big part of your work, this machine should be able to handle the load with ease. And this is something that we didn't see in the previous generation of MacBook Air, so it's nice to know that Apple is being generous this year. As for the built-in display, I personally think it's fairly vibrant and punchy. The color accuracy is on point, though obviously not as good as what you get on the Pro MacBooks. And by the way, I'll be making a full comparison video, so stay tuned for that. It has a 2560 by 1664 native resolution that gets bright up to 500 nits. Now, while testing the performance with creative softwares, which I'll dive into very soon, I noticed that the display shines when working with high quality images. I was able to accurately color grade my videos to the exact look I wanted, thanks to the vibrant colors and the sharp details that the display of the M4 MacBook Air provides. If you are into photo editing with softwares like Lightroom and Photoshop, you will really enjoy this display, especially if you are working on the go. Alright, so to put the M4 MacBook Air into a real world test, I spent the rest of the day installing softwares that I use on a regular basis. I had to install Final Cut Pro 11, which is my primary editing software, all the Adobe Creative softwares I use, along with other productivity apps which makes my workflow easier. While I let the softwares to download, I adjusted some of the settings to match my M3 Pro MacBook setup, and even transferred all the editing presets I use so that I can continue my work on the M4 MacBook Air for the next couple weeks. Now, there is a lot going on at this point with all the installations and settings, and I expect the M4 MacBook Air to get heated up since it's new and has to process everything at once. But surprisingly, everything ran smoothly and I was able to have the machine ready for work. Alright, so new day, fresh start, and at this point the M4 MacBook Air is fully set up for my workflow. Now, I didn't show this yesterday, but I actually continued editing the same project I started on my M3 Pro MacBook, but this time on the M4 MacBook Air. So before heading to school this morning, I just want to see how this machine holds up. At first, I noticed a bit of lag while scrubbing through the timeline, but after a few minutes, it smoothed out and ran fine. I'll be talking about the performance later on, but now as I'm about to dip, I noticed the MacBook was slightly warm as I grabbed it to throw in my bag. I'll give it the benefit of a doubt for now. It's still brand new, so maybe it just needs time to adjust. But yo, carrying this thing in my bag, it's crazy light. Like I almost forgot it was in there. Alright, so the walk from the parking lot to class is long, but honestly I barely feel the M4 MacBook Air in my bag. It's so light that I can easily whip it out in class and get straight to learning conveniently.
All this money on me. Cash rolls all around me.
Now, the first thing I did was connect to the school's public Wi-Fi. The M4 MacBook Air is equipped with Wi-Fi 6E technology, which makes internet speed fast and reliable even in a crowded network. So if you're in a public setting like on campus or anywhere with tons of people connected to the same wide area network, the M4 MacBook Air is going to get top tier speed with no lag. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I think the keyboard of the M4 MacBook Air has improved and feels better than the Magic Keyboard on the M3 Pro MacBook that I'm used to. It feels snappy and tactile with noticeable key travel. Might be because it's still a fresh laptop, but trust me, compared to the older MacBook Air models like M1 and M2, the keyboard feels a bit more refined. The trackpad feels exactly the same as the ones on the Pro models, but a little smaller in size. Now, if you are new to MacBooks, it's a simulated click trackpad, which means you can click anywhere on the pad for a button response. It's very smooth and responsive, making screen navigation very convenient. Alright, so I got back home and was finally eager to put this MacBook through a real world test. As I mentioned earlier, I'm able to connect the M4 MacBook Air to external displays, which is my preferred setup for editing. I fired up Final Cut Pro 11 and started editing at better quality with original playback. This means the project runs at max performance, which should normally slow the computer down after hours of work. So I edited for the rest of the day and even picked up from where I left off the next morning. Now surprisingly, the M4 MacBook Air handled the workload perfectly with no lag. Keep in mind that I'm editing an entire day in a live vlog shot in S-Log2 on a full frame Sony camera. The files are very large and they needed to be color graded to make the videos look good and engaging. I added multiple layers of color corrections, video effects, sound effects, and audio EQ. Now I did expect the machine to run smoothly, but not for this long, especially since the project ended up being a 28-minute long video. The M4 MacBook Air has proven to be a powerful machine, fully capable of handling demanding tasks. Whenever I'm editing, I usually have multiple Chrome tabs open in the background for research and downloading assets. Might even have Photoshop and Lightroom running at the same time. This laptop handles multiple creative applications at once effortlessly, and the fact that it's this compact with no fan to cool it down when overworked, yet still delivers outstanding performance, makes this a no-brainer. It also has a decent read and write speed, which is really important given that it only has 2 ports. Since my unit only has 256 GB of storage, I ran all my projects directly on an external SSD to save space, and the performance was still flawless. Yo, check this out. So I just edited this 28-minute long vlog on the M4 MacBook Air and it was killing it. No lag. It did get kind of warm, I'm not going to lie, it feels kind of warm right now, but in terms of like the performance, it's a A1, bro. These videos are shot in S-Log, as you guys could see. Color corrections, there are color corrections, text effects, sound effects, all that kind of stuff, and this laptop was killing it, I'm not even going to lie. So, and keep in mind guys, I was also editing from the external SSD, so I think this might actually be the best laptop. So I'm going to be exporting the video right now. It's a 28-minute long video, S-Log2 4K 8-bit. So I'm going to be exporting it right now to see how long it takes to export. I'm also going to be timing it with my phone just to see how good this laptop is in general. So I timed how long it took to export a 28-minute long 4K day in the live video, and it's finished in 6 minutes and 21 seconds, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. Now this is just one use case provided you are into content creation, but beyond that, these tests shows that the M4 MacBook Air is a great laptop for a wide variety of use cases right now. But at the same time, I just wanted to show you guys what the battery life is talking about. So as you guys could see, it has been away from the charger since 3 a.m. and boom, we're down to like 40% of battery life. Let's see how much this battery can actually hold up. The battery life of the M4 MacBook Air is very reliable. I was able to get around 6 hours of heavy usage on battery alone. I think it could last even longer if I were just working on school related tasks like browsing the web, working on documents, or even coding. It's good to know that I don't have to worry about constantly charging when I'm out for a long day working. So whether you are into programming, graphic design, or working corporate job, this just might be the best budget friendly new laptop that can handle these tasks with ease while giving you room to explore your creativity.